Hello everyone, it's the end of May. We're in Scotland, it's really hot. And it occurred to me, of all the videos I've been doing over the last 10 years or so, I've never once done a video about how to actually fell a tree. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just cutting out a bit of an access rack for future felling. And this Sitka spruce is the tree that we are going to fell. It's what, 60, 70 feet? Maybe a foot or so at the base. Now it's about the third or fourth that we've done today, and I'm going to show you the trees that we've already done. The first thing you will do is look at them and think, oh my god, that's terrible, look how high those stumps are. I've left those stumps high for a reason. About 4 or 5 months ago these trees were ring barked, and by ring barked I mean, can you see that? We went around and we cut in, severing the outer bark by about 2 inches right the way around. That basically hastens the drying process on the tree. So we can't actually cut as low as we'd ordinarily like to cut. Instead, we're actually cutting higher. The second reason I've actually cut higher, especially on this one, is because some of these trees are actually deformed. They've got secondary growth coming off them. So we need to cut a safe distance above them. But again, these have been ring barked. The final reason I'm happy to actually leave these tall, and we will come along later and clean them, is because out of sight, at the end there's the winch. You can maybe just see in the tree in the distance. And what I want to make sure of is that this tree actually falls to the left of those stems, those stumps rather, which makes the whole tree easier to winch out. It means it won't roll downhill. We are actually on a bit of an incline. That's what this thing actually looks like. So the first thing I've done is I've checked there's nothing nesting in the tree, because we are in nesting season. There isn't. I've checked my escape route in case anything starts to go wrong, and my escape route is fine. I shall flee downhill to England if anything starts going wrong. All I'm going to use for this job is a felling lever, my trusty 230. Oops. Where are we? There we go. My trusty, still 230, my 15-year-old saw, which is still going strong. Just goes to show, I think this is about a 36 or a 33cc saw. You don't need anything bigger for this work. I've got my safety helmet, I've got my chainsaw boots, got my chainsaw pants. I've got my groundsman behind me, to whom I'm going to pass the camera in a moment. And then we're going to get started. The first thing you will see me do, and at this point I'll switch across to subtitles. See the trees being marked there. The first thing you will see me do will be to put in the wedge. Now, because of this ring barking, I'm going to put the wedge or the face cut in. I'm going to put it in quite high. Now, I'm only going to put this in maybe 15 or 20% of the diameter of the tree. This is not to undercut the tree. This is purely for direction. And so what you'll see me doing is stopping and checking and stopping and checking. And what I'm doing is I am checking that this part of the saw, this plastic line here, is actually lined up to where I want the tree to fall. So that's the first thing you're going to see me do. The next thing you'll see me do will be to mark around where I'm actually going to place my back cut. Then when I start my back cut, I'm going to cut across to the far side, check that for depth. Then I'm going to gradually bring it in on the dog teeth. When I see the tree start to move, I will shift across to the felling lever. This tree, it almost wants to fall in that direction anyway, so it may start to go under its own steam, but if it doesn't, we'll help it along with the felling lever. I'm now going to pass this phone over to my groundsman, and we're going to start. one thing I will say at this point, when I cut this tree, no matter how I cut it, there will be an unbroken hinge on the tree. That works in my favour. It's happening because the tree will not go down without catching the other tree, so that will slow the momentum. It means the tree won't have enough speed or room to actually break clear of the stump. But it does work in my favour because it keeps it off the ground and it makes it easier for me to delimb or take off the branches afterwards. So this hinge will not break, that's intentional. Okay, so just as I was about to put the felling lever in, the tree sat back on me. You could probably see it just starting to pinch the bar there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a secondary cut just above the main back cut, make enough space for the felling lever to go in, and that'll topple it over. And that's perfect. The tree's gone exactly where I wanted it to go. It's done exactly what I wanted it to do. The hinge is still intact. It's kept it off the ground for when I delimb it. It's the left of those stumps. Now, anybody who does a tree felling video and tries to tell you that the tree never sits back on the bar, the bar never gets pinched, they're just outright lying to you. For every half dozen trees you do, it'll happen to you once. The wind catches a tree, flips it in the wrong direction. You cut a millimetre too high, too low. It happens all the time. This is why we carry felling levers. But there we go, tree's down, nobody's hurt. We can crack on with processing it. Thanks for watching, see you next time.